Welcome to our first of many 2023 Let's Get Traveling events. I'm very excited to kick off the new year with one of my favorite destinations, and that is Ireland. I'm thrilled to be working tonight with my friend and colleague from Collette Tours, April Martinez, who actually doesn't have that last name anymore. She's all married, so I'm very excited to say congratulations and have her advance the slide so I could show a little bit about what we're going to talk about tonight. So we're going to focus on one featured itinerary that Collette offers. They offer a mess of them, a whole different variety of itineraries that include Ireland, either all by itself or with other parts of Great Britain. So there's lots of variety, but we're going to focus on one tonight. And the reason why I picked this one for us to feature on tonight is it's a small group departure. So it doesn't have 45 people on it. It's got half as many people on it. And that has become very, very popular of late for a few reasons. First of all, people don't want to travel in a herd anymore. I understand that. And it really does give you more time in each place, a little more personalized service and attention. So there's a lot of benefits to going in a small group. So April will be talking about that tonight. And the reason why this particular itinerary spoke to me is I've been to Ireland a lot. It's the country I've been to the most outside of America. I kind of lost count after the 14th visit. So I know what I'm talking about on this one. This particular itinerary has a fantastic sampling of beautiful places to see, just natural beauty. It's got a great mix of history. Ireland has got more than 2,000 years of human history on this tiny little island the size of Maine. And this itinerary has a great sampling of it. It's got monastic sites. It's got historic sites. It's got a lot of different periods of history in it, which are fascinating in their own ways. And of course, it's also got a lot of modern day culture. There's great cities in the tour. And, when you go to Ireland, you get to experience not just the beautiful place itself and all this great history and the art and the architecture and the food and the kind of pub culture, which is totally welcoming of youngsters, because it's not like we can kind of consider bars in the US. It's a family community place in Ireland, which is great. You go, you listen to live music, you have a meal, you have a pint, and you have a great time. There's so many wonderful things about Ireland, not the least of which are the people that are there. I've made so many friends who I now consider family on my trips to Ireland, and I've stayed in touch with them for many, many years. So it really is a very, very special place. It's great as a destination for first timers to Europe. There's no language barrier. It's a very simple way to kind of get your feet wet for your first big trip abroad. And this itinerary, because it's such a great sampling, it's a great itinerary for people who've never been to Ireland, or people who have been, but maybe a long time ago and did kind of like a real kind of superficial trip to Ireland, or something that was very focused. This gives a really great mix of things. So I want you to sit tight, and April's going to go over more detail about this particular itinerary and some other stuff about Collette Tours, which is a fantastic company. And then when she's done at the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about the benefits of working with a travel agent and some other great things we've got going on right now here at my agency, Dream Vacations Escape Artist Holidays. So I want to ask April to take it away.
Thank you so much, Christy. I appreciate the intro. So as Christy mentioned, my name is now April DeLuca, and I am the business development manager for Collette for New Jersey and Northeast PA. And I know you're watching this right now because you are probably like me, that you just love travel. I mean, I live and breathe travel, and it's one of the reasons why I put that quote in there. We travel not to escape life, but for life not to escape us. And I really think that is more true now more than ever, after everything we've all been through with the pandemic and the years and months that we lost not being able to go out and explore the world and new cultures and meet new people. So now is the time to finally live your life to the fullest again. I recently got married in Italy, and every chance I get to celebrate something, rather than get each other gifts, we like to put it towards an experience of going to a new city or state or country or whatever it may be. So I am really excited to be here tonight to talk to you about this trip. If you aren't familiar with Collette, you may have seen us on Wheel of Fortune. We're actually on again this week right now. We've partnered with them for over 25 years. We were on Hallmark too, which is a favorite of mine and Christy's this winter. So you may have seen us on there, but Collette is the oldest travel company in the world. We do travel to all 7 continents. So if you can think of something, we probably go there. We have expert guides in every destination that we do, whether that be a trip to Ireland, like we're going to talk about tonight, or maybe you are interested in an African safari or the Northern Lights. You can just reach out to Christy and she can give you all the information on the amazing places that we go to, and lots of very unique travel styles. So another thing that sets us apart, Collette is extremely culturally immersive. Every aspect of the trip, whether it be where you are staying, what you are eating, how you're eating it, the activities, everything is going to make you truly feel that you are in that destination. We have the most amount of inclusions out of any of the great travel companies out there. So you really get, the most bang for your buck. And it is completely stress-free. From the moment that you are at the airport, you are met by a Collette representative. They bring you to your first hotel. You'll meet your tour manager there. They take you back to the airport after. I mean, it is really very stress-free. You don't have to worry about anything while you're there. I don't want to turn this into a COVID talk, but I do just want to make sure that you are aware that Collette has you protected. We are the only company that can say this, that we've refunded over $100 million in cash back to our travelers. There's not another company that comes close within 100 million of that. So just know that not only do we have your physical health and well-being in mind, but your financial as well. God forbid something were to happen in the future. Just know that you are protected by a very strong, financially stable company. We've maintained A+ Better Business Bureau rating all throughout this craziness these past couple years. And, when you've been around for over a century and you've seen the ups and downs of society, you just know how to react more positively, adjust quicker than most companies impacted. So have that peace of mind. And with that being said, we are going to jump right into our special trip of the night. This is countryside of the Emerald Isle. And this is going to be a small group exploration. So that is one of the styles that Collette has. And it's definitely a little bit more off the beaten path, more hidden gem experiences. This is just an awesome itinerary. You're full of the rocky coastlines and the friendly towns with the locals. And it's really your chance to experience, I want to say, a seldom explored side of Ireland. And one of my favorite things is how this really starts off. And I guarantee you, whether you're Irish or not, you're going to feel Irish by the end of this. I promise you. This is a nice little overview snapshot of where you're going to be. So whenever you see that dark circle with the number in it, that's the amount of nights you're staying there. If it's just the gray circle, that means you're going to stop off and have an experience there. This is an activity level 3. So what that means is you are pretty much an on-the-go traveler. Maybe standing or walking for longer periods of time, like 1 to 2 hours, isn't a big deal for you. Especially there, you're going to have to be able to navigate some uneven ground. Of course, go upstairs, like in and off the coach, but there's going to be some places that maybe you have to go down the stairs into an old building and it's not very sturdy. So as long as you feel comfortable doing that, we're not going to force you to wake up and go rock climbing, but you do have to be comfortable standing and walking for, like I said, about 1 to 2 hours. All right. So your first day, you are going to be welcomed in to Ireland's cosmopolitan capital of Dublin. And everyone loves Dublin. I mean, it's so beautiful. It's so festive all year round. There's really no other way to describe it. You're going to have a different intro to this incredible city, because that evening, when you join your fellow travelers, you're going to meet your tour manager. So your tour manager and your tour driver, 2 separate people, are going to be with you the entire time, and then local experts will come on and off throughout. You are going to do that at a welcome reception, which is going to be in the crypt of the Christ Church Cathedral. So you'll be there within these medieval walls of the city's oldest structure, surrounded by nearly 1,000 years of Irish myths and legends, and you're going to hear all about them as you toast to the start of your incredible adventure. You will also have the opportunity to tour Dublin with, again, a local expert as well as your tour manager. And the city is known for many of the elegant Georgian townhouses, the traditional taverns, the iconic Irish sites along the river, and there's a lot to soak in. And as I mentioned before, it just feels like there's a celebration all year round in Dublin. So you really get to experience the culture and the color of Ireland's, famous shopping. So you have Grafton Street, which is literally world's famous. This is where you want to go. And the name derives from a combination of 2 Gaelic words. So it refers to black and pool. So the Black Pool was located by the river near the Castle Gardens at Dublin Castle. And that's where it gets its name from. You'll get to kind of lose yourself inside St. Stephen's Green and marvel at the largest enclosed city park in all of Europe. It's hard to comprehend how large this is. If you've been anywhere throughout Europe, I mean, there's some massive parks in Vienna. This is the largest one throughout all of Europe, and it's Phoenix Park. And while you're there, you can be on the lookout for deer, which may not seem weird to you just because of, living in the Northeast, but it is very odd for them out there. But this park used to be royal hunting grounds. So they have herds of these creatures that still roam the wooded areas. So it's a very rare sight to see. Now, whenever you have free time, it's usually either a half a day or full day. Of course, your tour manager is going to be there and can help guide you in whatever direction that you want to go in, if you are into shopping or pubs or whatever it may be. However, we do have options if you are interested. So this is one of those options, and it is the pub lunch and Guinness Storehouse. So any of these optional excursions, of course, transportation will be included. It's about 3.5 hours long. So it gives you that opportunity to have a traditional pub lunch, and then you get a visit to the Guinness Storehouse, where there will be a local guide there. Then you get to take in Ireland's country roads and tour the Irish National Stud. So this is home to these regal thoroughbreds, and not just that, of course, horses, everyone will always think of that, but really opulent gardens. So the stallions here are well kept, and they are enjoying 1,000 acres for wandering and training, and the gardens on the estate are also in this Japanese style. So they were first created in the early 1900s, and the goal of the gardens was to represent the life of man. So in addition to the Japanese gardens, there is also a garden in honor of the patron saint of gardening, and it's just as beautiful, and that was created actually in the late 90s. And then you'll continue on. So you have, you start off with the pubs, and then you go into the countryside, you have the horses and the garden, and now you're going to continue south to the awe-inspiring rock of Cashel. And this is be just honestly amazed by this imposing facade. And it is the spot where St. Patrick preached. You're going to have a relaxing morning and then head to a seaside village. So there you will have time, and whether I say it or not, I promise you, every place that you go, you will have time to relax and wander and explore, unless it holds historic value or there's some type of demonstration. Typically, we're not going to take a group to a shop or, to go get little knickknacks. We like to only include things that provide value, but again, of course, this is your vacation, so you will have time to kind of peruse that. There are really great shops here. There's galleries, there's cafes, and you are going to have time to explore it all before joining a local expert, and you'll have a leisurely walking tour, so nothing too crazy. You may not think of Ireland as a foodie capital when, everyone always thinks about beer, but they don't necessarily, or whiskey, but they don't necessarily think of it as one of the top food destinations. And that has really changed in the past 5 to 10 years. So this historic port and fishing town is also known for its cuisine, and it's referred to as the gourmet food capital of Ireland. So keep that in mind. Later in the afternoon, you're going to top off your delicious food with some Irish whiskey. And you're going to go to the Old Middleton Distillery. So this is home of Jameson Irish whiskey. And of course, besides touring the beautiful facility, you're going to have a nice tasting in the end after learning all about the production. And if you are ever wondering the difference or how to tell the difference between the Irish whiskey or the Scottish whiskey, the Irish one has an EY at the end, and the Scottish one does not have the E. You'll continue to travel through what they call as the 40 shades of green en route to a charming little Irish town. There, you are going to board a ferry, and you're going to sail to stunning Garnish Islands. And this is sheltered in the harbor there of Bantry Bay. It's this hidden little island, and it's home to one of Ireland's most beautiful gardens. It is, again, absolutely stunning. So these are some things that you may not have known about Ireland, or maybe you've been there before and you've seen all the other major sites and you want to see more of those hidden gems. Every time you go, you can explore something new there. It always has a different adventure. You'll continue over to Cork and Kerry Mountains on the colorful town of Dingle. And this is located on the peninsula. So tonight, you're going to settle into this charming little seaside lodge, and that's going to be your home for the next 2 nights. The next morning, you will explore the spectacular scenery of the peninsula. You're going to drive along the road with this enchanting hills and the weather-worn bluffs there, and travel through really just this maze of green to Ireland's most westerly point, where the locals will remind you that the next parish over is Boston. Whenever you see this symbol, know that this is an included choice on tour. So this is a customization that we like to offer our travelers for you to choose how you want to spend this day. You can choose to take a walk along the coast, or you can visit the Blasket Center. So this will give you nice, beautiful views. If you're into photography, this is another great place to be able to do it. And you're going to walk along the coast there, and it's just secluded bay surrounded by cliffs. So you kind of feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, but it is absolutely breathtaking. Or your second option, which shares the story of the people of Blasket Islands, highlighting their struggles with the elements and their tenacity of the community, so you can learn all about the local population there. Again, those are two included things, so you can decide which one that you prefer to do. You're then going to leave the rugged southern coastline behind and embark on an adventure to the Aran Islands. I love, love, love this part. Again, you're going to board a ferry, and you're going to go to the largest of the 3 Aran Islands. Now, the ferry crossings and the overnights on the Aran Islands are subject to weather conditions. So, of course, we'll never put you at risk for anything. God forbid we aren't able to go, alternative arrangements will be made, accommodations and activities. So you're not going to miss out on doing anything. Now, upon arriving in Inishmore's ethereal landscape, you will get a private tour through the labyrinth there. It's this labyrinth of stone walls that blankets the entire island. You'll visit the east of the island and see the castle there and the port. You'll learn about the island's 850 inhabitants. That's all, 850. Learn about their livelihoods, their devotion, traditional culture, and customs. They are the ones that are truly keeping those alive there. And the last ferry leaves for the mainland. You can just stand there, breathe, take in the fresh Atlantic air, and you're going to settle into your cozy little island chalet. Now, I will be honest, these are humble accommodations. When you travel with Collette, we always stay in 4 to 5 star accommodations. When you are in places like the Aran Islands or the Orkney Islands, they don't always have a 5-star resort there. But it is still absolutely worth it to truly immerse yourself in that culture. And getting to stay overnight on the islands is once in a lifetime. And you are going to be in the heart of Inishmore too. So again, taking in that rocky coastline is really going to be the start of your stay. The next morning, you'll get to go to a prehistoric hill fort facing the Atlantic Ocean. So this fort is, you know what? I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I don't want to mispronounce it for you, but when you go there, you are going to learn the proper pronunciation of it, and then you will continue on to the 7 churches. So this is a pilgrimage site from the Middle Ages. After, you will meet a family who harvests seaweed. Yes, they actually will harvest the seaweed from the ocean, and you'll get to taste the unique flavor of this nutrient-rich food that supported Ireland's people during times of famine. That may sound gross to you, but I promise you, from having a health background, seaweed is 1, actually delicious, and 2, really is very healthy for you and provides a lot of benefits. They found it in times of need, but now you can find it in stores all over. So you'll get to learn about how they found it, how it sustained them, and then try a little sampling of it. And then nearby, you will also get a glimpse at a colony of seals, which will be on your way to visit another family-run enterprise. So you have the seaweed, then the seals, and then you have a goat farm. So there you will savor the flavors of their locally produced cheese and You will get a tour of the farm as well as a sampling. Later, you'll enjoy time in the village to explore and see those famous Aran sweaters. If I'm sure you've seen them online or maybe people wearing them, this is exactly where you get them. And then after that, you'll take in the unrivaled views while sailing beneath the iconic cliffs of Moher. Pictures truly don't do this justice. You'll then sail back to the mainland where you will toast the end of an incredible adventure and close out your Irish experience in Ennis, which is yet another beautiful place to explore. So that is it in a nutshell. Again, I did not go through every single detail, but I hope you feel intrigued to learn more about this very unique trip to Ireland. I do want to point out a few things here. So this particular trip is for a May 7th departure. Now, if you're interested in this, but you can't make that date, or maybe you are interested in learning about some of the other Ireland itineraries or ones that also encompass other countries, as Christy mentioned, please reach out to her. She has access to all of those things. But for this particular trip, oh my gosh, that's not the deposit. Take a zero out of that. It is $698 is the deposit.
Don't scare people.
Yes, that is a typo. It is not $6,098. It is $698.
A bargain.
Yes. That payment is 100% refundable up until March 1st. The price per person is $38.99. So that includes a $200 early booking discount if you do that by March 1st. However, if you sign up today, you will get an additional $100 off a person on top of that. So on top of the 200 that's already taken off in there. If you are a solo traveler, there is a $700 solo supplement. You're not going to have to pay double. You're not paying for two people and just being one in the room. But that 100% refundable really is peace of mind because space is first come, first serve. So if this is something that you want, you can always hold the space and then think about it. And if you have to cancel, you can cancel and know that everything is refundable. I want you to take out your smartphones if you have them and open up the camera, hold it up to the QR code, and a little link will pop up. And that is also the link that is on that screen there. If you go to that website, you can read in more detail about this trip in particular. You can read all about where you're going to be staying every single day, what the weather is. The weather this time of year will be probably in the mid 50s to the mid 60s, depending on where you are. You can go scroll to the bottom of the page that it brings you to, and you are also going to learn about the local currency, the local electricity, what you should pack, what you should expect on the first day. All of those questions that you have in your mind, whether you're an avid traveler or this is your first trip. So everything can be answered on there. And when you request more info, that goes right to Christy. I do want to point out that you will also find out about the insurance. So I did make a note that the insurance was $449 on the previous page. That insurance is a true cancel for any reason, no questions asked, no fine print, right up to 24 hours before departure. You will get 100% of your money back, less your insurance because you're using it, right to the method of payment that you used. We truly do not need a story or a doctor's note or anything like that. And then the second part of that insurance is it also covers you while you're on tour. It covers you for lost or delayed baggage, medical, emergency evacuation, trip interruption, whatever it may be. So it is twofold for that same price. It is not based on your age or the cost of the trip. It is that same price for everyone across the board. And again, you can read more about that on this special link that is just for this trip. I am going to play a really short little video, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to hear it.
How many times have you told yourself, someday you'll travel to that special place? Stop waiting for the perfect time and make this time perfect. This is your trip of a lifetime. Your someday is here.
I think we're all done waiting. Hence why we are doing this right now. And whether you are or aren't, whether you're looking to go on this trip in May, or you want ideas for maybe further in the year or next year, again, it is not too far out to start talking to Christy about your ideas. If you love this itinerary, but you're wondering if maybe you can fly out of a different airport, or maybe you want to upgrade your seats on the plane or add a pre or post night, all of those things can be customized for you. Again, Christy would be more than happy to do that. She is your main point of contact. I have her information on the screen. And if I do want to open it up for questions, if anyone has any questions for me before I pass it off to Christy.
Nicely done, my friend.
Okay, thank you. Let me move on to you. Okay, you're up, Christy.
So I have to say, I wanted to jump in, but I knew I couldn't. So many of the wonderful things that you pointed out on this trip are really that spectacular. I mean, everything from strolling Grafton Street and shopping and popping into pubs and listening to music and the buskers on the street to the Rock of Cashel is so unbelievably fantastic. It's the view from up there is amazing. It's beautiful. And there's so many great sites along this trip. And you're right about the food. My first trip to Ireland was 30 years ago in May, which I was doing the math on before, and it kind of scared myself a little bit. And it had kind of this renaissance of food over the period of time that I've been there. And even 15 years ago, it was so remarkably different. And it's continued to just be this mecca of creative cooking. But on top of all that, it's an island. It's got fantastic seafood. I mean, an Irish breakfast is the heartiest breakfast you'll ever eat. So there's 101 reasons to visit Ireland, and I'd be happy to list them all one at a time for you if you want to talk about it. So getting to the benefits of working with a travel agent. First of all, I'm fabulous, so naturally you'd want to work with me. But on top of all that, the reasons for working with a travel agent are because we're keeping our eyes peeled for deals and discounts. We are experts, especially in certain destinations that I like this. Ireland is one of my specialties. We are interested in making sure that we've answered all your questions. We've given you great information so that you can make an informed decision about what trip is right for you. We customize things for you or your family. If you're celebrating something, we will make sure to integrate that into your trip. Our advice is so much more robust and personalized than any Google search will ever give you. So there's a lot of reasons, and I think most importantly, certainly it proved its worth a lot during the lockdown when vacations were being canceled, but also since things have started up again, where there's new policies about canceling or adjusting your trip. My advocacy for my clients is a seriously top priority for me. I want to make sure that not only am I serving your needs to do the research and help you find the best trip for you, but to be there for you should things go pear-shaped. So client advocacy is super, super duper important for me. Can you advance the slide, please, April? So what do you do now? Well, now you put the pedal to the metal. Now it's time to start talking about it with your friendly neighborhood travel agent. And I've got a kicker too. So in addition to the wonderful things that April offered for tonight, I'm also going to offer a bonus. So depending on, of course, some variables, the fine print, right? The devil's always in the details. I am going to offer up to $150 discount from this agency on any Collette tour that's booked between now and the end of February. So that is for registrants only. And so whether you've actually managed to attend tonight or not, but you did register, I'll extend that to registrants for tonight's event. So let's talk. On the next slide, you'll have all my contact information, including information about my website and all this other stuff. We have recorded videos, over 40 destinations on my YouTube channel, and you can get to it through all these links. But most importantly, go to my website, escapeartistholidays.com, where you can find all this information, including the ability to register, enter to win for our latest giveaway, a $10,000 vacation of your choosing. That's a pretty juicy thing to win. The contest just opened. It's going to be running for a couple of months, and then we'll be drawing a name out of the hat. So you have to be in it to win it. So again, go to escapeartistholidays.com. You'll see that picture right on the homepage. April, can you share screen with me? And I'm going to show you guys something else. You also see on the bottom there, we have a series of these online events coming up. And there's more than just these three. But the next few are actually going to be about, next week is Alaska with Celebrity Cruise Lines, which is awesome. The following week is river cruising with Viking, and that's extra special to me because I'm going to be hosting a trip on Viking's Danube River cruise between Regensburg, Germany, and Budapest in Hungary, and we're going to have a fantastic time. So the presentation on that is going to be loads of laughs, as you might expect. And then after that, April is going to be back, and we're going to talk about Peru and going to see the magical places of Machu Picchu and so much more in Peru. So lots of things on the horizon. But this is a picture of my website, and you can see there's that picture about Enter to Win down here. So you can click on that. And then here is our featured itineraries banner. And if you click on that, it's going to take you to a whole list of great vacations that I'm featuring for 2023 and 2024. A few of them are with Viking, but a whole bunch of them are with Collette Tours. They are my go-to land tour provider. And we've had a few already, in addition to Ireland, Iceland, Peru, French Riviera, Christmas markets in Germany. We're even going to head down under for next year, and more and more and more and more. So you can learn about these here, and the list will continue to grow and change. You can click on the links to get to the details. This is the same link that April just showed you at the end of her slide deck. So you can learn more and more and more about each individual thing. And here, like she said, there's all sorts of great information that you can learn, not just about the itinerary, but about the destination. So there's so much information for you to kind of be inspired by, and you can register for more of these events. And by all means, contact me to learn more, explore your own ideas, discuss what that special dream vacation looks like for you and your family when you're ready to discuss it. Anything anybody would like to add to tonight's discussion? Questions, thoughts?
I'm just grateful to be able to do this. And as you know, I was a little bit nervous that I wouldn't be able to do this tonight. So I really do urge everyone, as Christy said, she is the expert. I realize that we all have little mini computers in our hands now,
Right.
But you are not. I also used to be a travel agent, and you will not get that one-on-one personal experience, not only is Christy the expert in all of these areas, but she has a personal connection with myself and other BDMs as well, which is something that you would never be able to get by doing something through a computer or even direct through a company where you're just speaking to one of the hundreds of agents in their call center. So that extra little touch, and I cannot emphasize enough the advocacy part. Whether things are smooth or not, trust me, you do not want to be in a situation where you have to call the airlines yourself. Trust
Right.
me when you do that.
No
So-
bueno, no bueno. I'm used to hold music. Let me do it. And you can always sign up for a consultation right here on my website. Just go up here and find a time and day that suits your calendar. And we could be off to the races talking about your next dream vacation. Hey, I want to thank April again for doing the wonderful things today about sharing all this information with all of you and being such a gracious co-host with me. I appreciate it so very much. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you, Christy. And I look forward to joining you and seeing everyone again in a couple of weeks.
And thank you for attending. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.